Hello, my name is Mindy Bedard, future teacher. I've entitled my project the Strategic Learner Cognition Motivational Learning Strategies for Students. This is Learning Frameworks Fall 2024. My most improved in the student success survey has been the reading category and the memory category. Uh, This came in a little bit as of a surprise to me, um, but it also kind of makes sense. Um, I have probably done more reading in the last 8 weeks than I've done in the past couple of years, sadly to say. I'm not an avid reader, and so this is this past 8 weeks has helped improve my reading skills for sure. I've had to really concentrate and force myself to read on days when I was pretty tired. And so um, I, this has been a great surprise to see that my reading skills have improved, which also makes sense that my memory would improve a little bit. Um, uh, and I was happy to hear this. Um, and so something has definitely stuck with me over these 8 weeks. And so I was very happy to hear to learn that my those were the two that was hoping to improve the most, and it looks like that I was successful in that. I'm still in progress and want to improve on even in the future. My self-esteem, my confidence, and standing up in front of a classroom of students still can be a little intimidating to me, and so I will get better with practice, I'm sure. But just that confidence and having a good self-esteem in order to stand in front of anyone and speak is one of my goals in the future for sure. And then my health, I am in the one of the older ones in this class, and so I would like to stay young at heart and in my mind as well. And so my health is important to me, and I'd like to continue on a healthy journey, mentally and physically, and uh, be able to have a good, healthy body and mind for my classroom, for my students. I want to be able to sit on the floor with them and read them a book, or just be able to participate in the daily activities of little children because I don't want to teach high school. I'd rather stay with the younger kids, which, um, as you can imagine, there's a lot of younger teachers involved in elementary school. But I would like to be a healthy older student so that I can last a little longer in the classroom. All right. My favorite strategies, the SMART goals lesson and the critical inner voice. Now, SMART goals was the hardest week I think I had because I'm not a goal-oriented person. I tend to get overwhelmed when I try to make a goal, or I make it so general that it just becomes too overwhelming to even accomplish. And so my when the week we did SMART goals, I took at least 4 days and tried to think out what each category, the S, the M, the A, and the R, and the T, really meant to me, and really work in detail through those categories. And it was hard. I would go to bed at night still thinking about my SMART goals. Um, so by the time I was ready to write everything out, I felt pretty prepared and pretty excited actually to put that down in writing. And my husband was interested because he has used SMART goals in his life in the past, and so he was very interested in my SMART goals, and he was so excited I was using this method. He knew that would be an interest to me, and he knew once I learned it that I would understand why he gets so excited. So we plan on using this together in our family life. Um, and I am definitely telling my kids about this. I've got two teenagers, and I want them to know that their dreams and goals may seem very big, but when you put them down on paper like this in this SMART goal system, it really made it feel like everything is actually attainable and that I can accomplish what I want to accomplish. So I was very excited about this lesson. Even though it was the hardest week, it is definitely my most memorable. And then the critical inner voice lesson, I really enjoyed because I think I may see this maybe a little bit differently than most, but it's because I'm in that older category. Um, I know where my critical voice comes from. I've dealt with that already. I've acknowledged it and I've put it in the past. My what stood out to me in this lesson is what are you going to do about it now? You know where the critical voice comes from. You know how to work through it. Now, what do you need to do to become someone else positive's voice? What do you need to do to not be a critical voice to someone? I am pretty good about not being a harsh critic to myself because I've just had to learn that over the time and not be a downer when it comes to everything. Um, I've definitely overcome negativities um, that were either said to me uh, outside of my family life or even in my family life. Um, but now, what do I do with this information? So I just decided I this was really a really important lesson to me to take to my classroom because I want to be that voice to those students who may be struggling like I was in school, and I don't want to be that voice that tells them, well, you're just not going to be good at this, so don't worry about it, because that's what I heard. Um, I want to be that voice that says, okay, let's figure this out. Let's see where you're struggling and let's take the time and work on this because this is important. Education is important. And this will, if you if you have the right positive talk, you can literally do anything you want in life. And and then I liked that my two lessons kind of went together because I thought, well, I can use the SMART goals in class on an elementary um, school sort of level, but I would like to use the SMART goals along with that positive inner voice with the children and say, okay, what's your goal for this classroom? What's your goal for this year? Let's get you there. Let's make this happen. And so I'm hoping to tie those two together into my classroom one of these days when I get the chance. So I'm excited about that. And then the engaging regional, national, global learning communities. Um, I put on there every child, every day. That's sort of my motto. Um, I found it interesting. The article was um, it it was a lot to take in. um, I can tell you it sort of lit a fire under me when I was writing my paper about it, my writing assignment, and it talked about how the math and science um, in America is not necessarily um, it's at a slow decline, I guess. Either it's steady or at a slow decline. Um, and that the very first line it says the United States isn't investing as much in human capital as other developed countries, and is falling behind as a result. So I feel like it what the article left out was what I see on a daily basis is funding. And now in Texas, they want to take those funds away even more. And I see our education system declining even more. I feel like education is not valued as much in our country, or it used to be, but I feel like it's just, to me, it's several factors. I see behavior in the classroom as an issue, and the article did not talk on this, but I wish that it would show you what a real life classroom is like and the behaviors that these teachers have to deal with that also come from what goes on at home. And when the parent doesn't place much value on how their child behaves in public and the respect that they give to their peers and to the adults, um, when that isn't placed at a higher value, then it really makes it harder for the teacher to do her job. Um, I sit in some of these classrooms and wonder how any of these children are actually learning anything because some of the classrooms are a little chaotic and some of it is classroom management, but some of it is also just some of the behaviors that the kids just they know that they can get away with it because their parents don't mind the behavior. Maybe mom and dad struggled in school. I don't know, but they certainly at home don't seem to place much interest. Um, I know that some teachers have reached out to some of their parents to tell them that their child may need glasses. The parent doesn't respond, doesn't go to take their child to be tested. So maybe that child can't see the board. I know I'm thinking of a specific family in my school that this happened to. And they have the means to. And it's almost like they just didn't believe the teacher and they didn't see a problem. But we see things differently in the classroom. And so that's a struggle when things at home, the values at home are not there. And so the kid is going to struggle at school. It's, there's not a whole lot a teacher can do about that. Um, I I know that it talks about how the tech jobs and the engineering jobs are going to um, foreign born, is what it says, uh, people. And I, again, can tell you that I don't know the values in these other countries other than they do place a high value on education. So they're going to spend the money, the resources to help with technology in the classroom. And they're going to also, from what I have heard, encourage the arts as well and PE and recess. Um, I think we in America have decided that some of these things just aren't important uh, to the school system anymore, so they're taking it away, and I think we'll see the results of some burned out, stressed out children more and more through the years. Um, so again, the article was interesting and kind of left more questions. To me, it left more questions than it answered. But I wish that I could solve some of our problems here in Dallas Fort Worth. But sadly, no one's listening to me or the teachers that I work with. Um, they probably could tell you all kinds of things that solutions that they have to fix some of these problems, but they don't feel like their voices are being heard. They feel like the, you know, superintendents of some of these school systems are extremely overpaid, and um, the board members are paid. Why are board members paid? Why can't we put that money back into our schools and give our teachers the resources that they need? Um, because, you know, teachers know exactly what they would do with extra money. They know exactly what they would do with extra money. Um, and so I know that our state has tons of resources, tons of money, but that's a whole other political subject that I don't think we have time for today. But um, I wasn't super excited about the article. I thought that it raised more questions than it answered. So through this class, the main takeaways for me, what I learned, the that the learning styles factor fiction TED Talk was um, pretty controversial with my coworkers. I went to school the next day and shared with a few of them what I learned, and they didn't believe what they were hearing. Um, they, I tried to explain to them that this woman was talking about making uh, learning more meaningful to you, and they started to catch on at the end, but still to right we sometimes it still gets brought up at school. They still don't understand how we don't have our actual learning style. And I kind of said, well, what if we just do all of it? You can make learning meaningful by writing it down, by listening to, a music or a poem or something that connects that information to the child, to your brain. And so we sort of think it's all connected. And I like to brag on the teachers that I work with. They're pretty amazing people. They are able to make learning meaningful every day for these students. And it's something simple. It doesn't even have to cost anything. I walked past one of a second grade class today, and they were working on subtraction, and the teacher had part of the class out in the hallway, and I heard her from inside say, okay, now if I take four more students out of the class, how many students are left? That kind of thing. So it's even just getting the kids up, standing up, putting them in a new space in the classroom or in the hallway. The kids look like they were having fun, they were engaged. And so I thought that's a good way to make learning meaningful. And then the emotional intelligence. I really enjoyed this lesson. Um, to me, this model looks like uh, the perfect leader. I have definitely worked in offices um, and in buildings where I have worked for leaders that are all four of these boxes, uh, and they've been incredible leaders to work with. And I would work even harder to succeed because I had this person on my team. I can't say that I am this person yet, but I think that's why I wanted uh, to put this up there for this slide because I would like to become this person. So I'm even thinking about printing this off and maybe putting it in my bathroom mirror. And it's like a checklist of what I would like to become and a teacher um, to lead a classroom one day. This is exactly what I would like to do to inspire my classroom, inspire the kids, um, just all of it. I want to make sure that I'm checking in and making sure this is the type of leader that the kids need. And so I will be using this model for sure in my classroom one day. And so, what I've learned from this class is no time like the present. Um, don't wait, don't get overwhelmed, and a little bit goes a long way. If you do a little bit goes a long way, something small every day, you won't get overwhelmed. Um, I learned that through this class. I would look through the week and what we needed to do and get a little bit overwhelmed. And then I'd say, okay, on Monday, I'm going to do this. On Tuesday, I'm going to do this. And every day was just a little bit. And it really made me proud of myself, first of all, that I could accomplish just a little bit every day because I'm full-time mom, full-time wife, full-time co-worker. Um, and I was still able to come home and just do a little bit of schoolwork each day. And I didn't get overwhelmed like I thought I was. It was a pretty cool experience. And then a positive mind finds opportunity in everything. So you're going to think positive. Thinking positive can literally just change your entire life. Um, take all the opportunities during the day to do what you need to do. I know sometimes on my breaks at work, I would go to my car and I'd watch a TED Talk video. So at least I had that out of the way. So that and I took some notes while I was watching because I didn't want to forget. And so then when I got home, I could write my response. Um, and that helped a lot because sometimes when I got home, I still had things I needed to do in my family life. And so, uh, my advice is just take all the little opportunities you have, and then stay focused, of course. Um, and then don't remember to forget. I mean, sorry, don't forget to remember. Remind yourself of your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Remember your end goal, and keep yourself motivated by seeing um, who you are, who you want to become at the end of this class or in the end of your college career. Um, make sacrifices today that make you successful tomorrow. Um, I liked this saying because it's so true. Like, just the little sacrifices you make can make you a successful person later in whatever you're looking to be successful at. I am a person that loves to take care of my family, and so I would say to my kids, "You need to make dinner tonight," or "You need to do your laundry," which they do normally. But I just would let everybody know I've got something I need to do. I've got an assignment due. I'm going to lock my door. I'm going to lock you out. I would lock out the dog. Anything that distracted me from what I needed to do, um, I wanted to do that. And it was hard sometimes. I missed a couple of their events because I needed to get some things done, and they understood. No one was upset, but they knew that this was a priority to me. And so everybody has been very encouraging to me to get this done. And then forgive yourself. I have forgiven myself that I'll miss those events, even though that was very hard for me to do. I and forgive yourself in other just making little mistakes. I always tell my students at school, I ask some of them, why do you think pencils have erasers? And they just look at me really funny. And I say, because it's okay to make mistakes. You just get to erase your mistake, erase it all away and start over. And they like that. They've actually started repeating that back to me. And it's been fun to learn that. So it's okay to make mistakes, forgive yourself, and move on. And then this is future me. I want to uh, get into I Teach to a teaching certificate program. I'll be applying there in the spring. Um, and so I hope to get in and start that program. It's going to take me about a year to get my teaching certificate. And so I am excited about that. And I definitely will take some of the learning strategies from this class and put them into practice during I Teach because, from what I understand, it's pretty intense. Um, and so, but I do feel a little more prepared to work in that program, and I'm very excited about it as well. So I've got to get into the I Teach program first and get my certificate, and then I plan on becoming an elementary school teacher. And this is a little look into my future classroom. Hopefully, the students look like they're having fun and engaged, and I like how the teacher is sitting on the floor with them, and she's not just sitting back at her desk, grading papers or something. She's interacting with them. So I really enjoy this picture because this looks like the classroom I would like to have. That learning is fun and interactive, and the teacher looks like she is uh, having fun and enjoying herself as well. And then the picture of the grandma on the treadmill, because I am an older student, I had to put a picture of a grandma there. I hope to stay healthy and like I said, I want to be able to sit on the floor with my students. I would also like to be a grandma one day. And so I put a jogging grandma there uh, to remind myself that I would like to, there are reasons to stay in shape. It is very easy as you get older to forget about yourself and forget about your health. But I think through this class and using those SMART goals, like I said, really changed my perspective on my health goals. So I don't think I'm going to run a marathon. It's okay. I just need to stay healthy enough and in shape enough to be able to interact with my students and hopefully one day in the way off future, hopefully my kids go to college and then wait to have kids later. But I'd like to be a grandma and I'll be an older grandma. That's okay. But I hope to stay in shape for that. All right, so that is me, and I've really enjoyed this class and this 8 weeks. I learned a lot that I will take with me, and I hope you have too. Thanks.